Howdy folks, and welcome back to this Let's Play of Hearts of Iron number 4, which we're currently playing as Turkey, or rather the neo-Ottoman Empire. Alright, the game is loaded. We are playing as the neo-Ottoman Empire. We have started an invasion of Turkey, of the UK. If we look at the actual map here, we should be able to see that. We've actually got the southeast of England already in our hands. Just checking if I got any additional land units I can actually redeploy to there. Let's check. Those are there, those are there, those are there, those are there. There's still a little contingency here. Alright, they've already taken Malta here, which of course is good. What is that? That's British occupied terrain now. So that's good, I would say. Let me set a new target for what we're going to do. So I'm going to choose this as the original point. And we're going to basically choose those as the invasion targets. And we are going to basically assign all of these divisions. Select all to this particular route here. Perfect. Done. Right, then we still got these guys here in Southeast Asia. Not too many of them left, but there's still a few. And as we look at the terrain here itself, that's Japanese terrain. Then we got, of course, our own little bit of terrain here. But really the main chunk will be over here. Now let's actually focus on our main thrust here at the moment, which of course is the southeast of England. We are putting pressure on the British here. They've got American troops supporting them as well. But let's get the clock running in the meantime. Okay. Let's put all those attacks in play. Move these units here as well. Of course, these tanks will be supporting the attack here on Portsmouth. Attack on Portsmouth is going relatively well, I'd say. I'm going to put more different angles of attack on these guys here. As you can see, these divisions here seem to be pretty well in terms of how they're doing at the moment. See a bit of extra pressure on there. Doesn't have to be very much, but still any little bit helps. See how far I can actually push them back from here. Hopefully I'll be able to push them away from the current borders that we got here. Hoping to be able to utilize all this terrain here fully. These are new divisions that are moving in. Now once they actually come onto the land here, we should hopefully be able to deploy them and move them forward relatively quickly. Perfect. Portsmouth was taken. All these guys here will be moving there. And I should be able to start moving extra troops into here to attack them also in Bristol. And I'm kind of hoping to be able to take Bristol, so at least I can cut off the various different chunks here. Create a bit of a pocket over here, but particularly here in the southwest of England, I want to have a larger pocket which I can cut off properly. Okay. As you'll see, these units will be able to attack, of course, quite nicely. Perfect. Now these are under strength, these units here. Ooh, we've actually just completed research on the new rockets, or the rocket units I should say. Let's get that latest engine researched here as well. And of course these new divisions can start moving forward to help me with the push up in the north here. I'm saying north, well it is the north, but it's not the original true UK North. Okay, further divisions moving in here. Again, pushing them out through here. Lots more movement happening here, as you can see. I should hopefully be able to utilize the strength of some of these individual units here to push back the enemies slightly further. It looks like they are attacking me here over here. Not necessarily a big issue, but yeah, I do need to make sure I keep an eye on them. Make sure they're not really pushing me back too far. I got 3 military factories, interesting. I'm already investing time and effort into these units here. One thing I haven't done yet here is... Actually, these are Interceptor 1s. So maybe I should upgrade these to Interceptor 2s. Since Interceptor 2 is now available as a unit class, or type, I should say. Increasing the production on these numbers here. Some naval battles have taken place here, which is fine. I was able to take out some of their units. Unfortunately, I'm running low on rubber, it looks like. So I've got a need for rubber that is not being fulfilled here by the various different parties I'm dealing with here. So I'll send the requests, but it doesn't look like that's actually having any effect whatsoever. So who else might be able to trade with me? Now Brazil is already doing so. Sweden might be able to do so. Same goes for Portugal. Or maybe not. Right, I've got at least some more coming in. But anyways, looking back at my borders here. Look at that massive group of units there. That is quite substantial, I'd say. Alright, let's move further units down here. As I take these on board, I should hopefully, of course, be able to do more with this. Let's see if we can take these extra squares here as well. Putting even more pressure on them here. Of course, delivering more attacks on them as well. So continue a search forward here. Hope we'll be able to take Manchester here. Okay. Further movement here. Well, that should be sufficient to be able to push him out of this square here. They've only got 4 and I've got, yeah, like 30 something, 34, I guess. Portsmouth is still being attacked with some regularity. Let's have a look at this port here. I can actually place new divisions here. Okay, I'm placing that one there, and in this one here I'm placing new... What am I going to place here? Good question. Let's place here the entire group of those close air support units. Still, Bristol is not been taken yet. It's going to take a little while. Looks Looks like I'm actually going to have to reinforce that attack on there as well. What is that for unit? Is that an enemy unit or one of mine? I'm not sure. It looks like one of mine, but okay. In terms of reinforcements, what else have I got at my disposal here? I thought I would have more fighters at my disposal, but I don't. A bit baffled by that, but okay. I thought I'd put more in the pocket here, but it looks like that is not the case. Let's look at the land units here. Okay. So I'm going to reinforce Portsmouth here. Let's go into Leeds here. I'm going to take that particular unit as well. So you still actually see the unit names that are originally given to them. It seems to remember those original names, which is nice to see. Not always necessary, but yeah, still nice to see. Bit of legacy that's not lost upon me. Okay, let's move these units down here to reinforce that particular beachhead. And as you can see, I'm actually quite nicely driving from the southeast of England through the remainder of England. And again, it tells me I've got military factories at my disposal. Now, it tells me I've got 2 in terms of surplus. So I'm actually going to assign them to the advanced artillery. Actually, I might actually add an extra line here. Actually, I don't have any fighters in the queue at all, other than the one down here. Let's make that a full queue down there. Right, reinforcing that properly. I'm kind of hoping I'll be able to push him back into the edge of Cornwall over here. And if that indeed happens to be the case, then that should give me a bit of an advantage. I should be able to use these guys to intercept. You guys here should, in theory, be able to help me with the ground-to-air support. Look at that, I'm actually going to be able to add an extra wing to here, it looks like. Fighters level 3 Mark II I'm going to add. I'm going to add a full queue of those 2 here. And that still leaves me even more wiggling room, it looks like. Next completion, no factories assigned. Well, it does look like I've got factories assigned. Let's do more of those Mark IIs and assign more factories to there. Again, bearing in mind, of course, that I don't have all the numbers I had earlier. It's a different mixture now. It should be more than sufficient for us to be able to break through here. Look at the number of units gathering in there. That's quite a large number of them. The idea being here, I should be able to push them out of these individual units, out of the individual regions, and see where they can actually bring me. Now, these units here, these are still green in terms of experience levels. The British are still trying to attack me over here in Portsmouth. Kind of to be expected, because yeah, they don't really want to lose their home territory. Let's attack them from all the different angles. That and further up there. Perfect. Even further north as well. To try, of course, to take more of that terrain. Newcastle is up there. But again, there's a bit of a pocket here, which I'm hoping I'll be able to push them out of. Lots of British troops in there. The more of those troops I can actually isolate and maybe, yeah, in terms of pockets, do something against them, the better for me that will turn out to be. Canadians are trying to attack there, which is interesting to see. Being reinforced here. So their morale is suffering, of course. Supplies are going down as well, it looks like. Our manpower is actually on the rise, which is good. And I think that's to do with the fact that we've basically gained control of southeast of England here. It's having a positive impact on our forays over here. Okay. So our morale is relatively high, particularly compared to theirs. Manpower is not necessarily an issue, but look at these. They're actually low on supply on pretty much all of these units, which actually give them some penalties. They are entrenched, so that's to their benefit. They actually have got a pretty decent level commander. In this instance it looks to be Patton, George Patton, but they're basically overseen by a field marshal. Okay. Gonna have to send more troops into here as well. Again, different angles, different approach routes. He's giving me a bit of an advantage here, hopefully. Good. As we'll see, significant numbers of troops are attacking. Some of them are actually under strength, but that's, I guess, to be expected to some extent here. It looks like we actually beat the soldiers down here, which is good, I'd say. Now I will be moving these guys into the pocket here, and it looks like they're actually retreating, which is kind of been my goal here. To basically see them actually being pushed back and move back towards, yeah, a more defensive position. Alright, let's keep some of these troops here and then move the rest down. Of course, yeah, we're defending again from a naval invasion here. Again, we should be able to reinforce that attack here and see how we can actually deal with that little pocket there. So steadily more and more of these troops are actually pulling out of the fight. They're running out of morale. I'm hoping that these reserves will come in relatively quickly. decryption advantage that we got here, and they also got a decryption advantage, which I guess is to do with the fact that we haven't actually invested enough in encryption. Those two, of course, always offset against each other quite nicely. Alright, further movement here. These guys in the rocket interceptors are doing quite nicely as well, it looks like. Let's see, in terms of our need for aluminum, we got a very, very high requirement for that, which we're actually not meeting at the moment. So let's send further requests for aluminum to Hungary. Rubber, we got an even higher requirement than before. Kind of hoping that the other nations will be able to help me with this. In terms of exports, Portugal should be able to export stuff to me here. They should be able to fulfill my needs for tungsten here. I have got a need for oil as well, even though I got a substantial amount of oil fields in my hands. It should still be in my hands, particularly since I actually took control of course, Turkey. And Turkey is still my territory here, as you can see. Sorry, Iraq I should say. I'm playing as Turkey. But okay. Let's see how that develops. Again, I'm trying to keep the pressure on these guys here, so at least I can get them to lose organization. Once sufficient organization has been lost, they'll be pushed back into that pocket over here, where there's not a single port to let them escape. Now, the more troops I actually push into a pocket with no port next to it, the better. Because what that will lead to, it'll lead to a situation where they won't be able to escape anymore. They need to have a port to be able to get out of there. Now, attrition, of course, is affecting these troops here. Still got a tank unit in here as well. Sending that down here. But the rest of these troops I will actually be sending over to Liverpool. These guys here I will be sending up there. Get more troops to head up north. Troops will be attacking these pockets here as well. Again, these will be attacking as well. As you can see, we got a pretty high level of width of the battlefield here, because we're attacking from so many different angles. I'm using here what looks to be, in this instance, Iranian units. It looks like I actually gained control of more factories, which is, I guess, good to some extent, but again bad to some other extent. So we still got a massive surplus here. So what does I want to do here? Let's build some modern self-propelled artillery. Let's invest into that and see how that goes. Again, I'm putting more troops on the line here. Ooh, another ace. Alright, let's see how far we can actually push these troops here. Into Glasgow. Further troops are attacking again from different angles. It looks like these guys, even though they're low on supplies, are still doing relatively well. Their organization is pretty high. My maximum organization is substantially higher, as you can see. 60, whereas theirs is 48. But yeah, let's see how things go. Of course, there are various different other puppets here as well. So let's see if we can actually attack this grouping here again. So we got a width of 89 versus their 80. Various armored divisions, as you can see, are engaged in here as well. Their organization is dropping substantially, as you can see. They're led by Dwight Eisenhower. I guess in the next couple of minutes I will have to call it a day, but let's see how things progress further. Have I got sufficient fighters or anything of that sort to be able to put them down here? I'm not sure I do. I can basically place the tactical bombers. Okay. Let's have a brief look at all these naval engagements. We took out some transports there. We haven't been able to take out another submarine of the British. Another 3 submarines. Anything else? We are very, very short of rubber, it looks like, as well as aluminum. I thought it basically dealt with my aluminum issue, but let's maybe send in more requests here. Even to Sweden and Brazil. Brazil was not able to fulfill that order entirely. But let's see, Hungary. We've put in a bigger order for additional aluminum. Oil, we've got a bigger need than we had before. Let's see what I can get from these guys here as well. Argentina, Colombia, Sweden. Trying to cover all my needs here as much as I can, like I said. Again, focusing in on what's on the ground. It looks like we have lots of troops here ready to support us on this engagement here. Enemy morale is still dropping. Width 86. Ooh, their width is for some reason 110. Intriguing. Okay. Keeping a close eye on what's actually developing here. Moving more troops in. Again, this looks to be turning towards our advantage here. Oliver Lees. In terms of manpower, we are still in the positive, well, positive compared to what I had at the beginning of this episode here. Putting different angles on their angle or width 30 versus their width of 8. Hope that width will increase shortly. And actually it looks like there's 2 other troops there as well, which I hadn't actually seen originally. Anyway, one of them is paratrooper here. Further naval actions taking place here. Canadian transports have been intercepted. Good. Let's set this to search and destroy in both those areas here. Looks like we got British troops here invading Spain again. With some luck, it looks like. They got a nice chunk of the north coast, it looks like, again. Portuguese are not involved at present. Now, I'm not sure why the Spanish are not retaking this chunk here near Coruna. Okay. Troops again basically went back to a status quo, it looks like. Original states from before we actually engaged in this particular attack. Or series of attacks, I should maybe say. More troops flowing through here. And again, we're engaging further of these units as we speak. Ooh, we're defending against the naval invasion, which is interesting. Are they retreating units, or I'm not quite sure how and what? Rossith. It's moving to there, and then these, yeah, they can keep on going. Cool. Anyway, like I said, we need to just really call this a day, because even though we have gained nice bits of ground here, we still just need to play it cool and just say, well, we're going to carry on with this next turn. So thanks again for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.